512-836-0590, 919 on Austin's Morning News with Mark and Ed. Antonio Buehler has called in on Austin's Morning News, having been released last night. Antonio, good morning. Welcome to KLBJ. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Are you on a speakerphone right now, Antonio?
No, I'm on headphones. You can't hear me very well?
It was a little bit echoey there. Just speak up, please. That'll help with the connection. What's the main thing that you want to communicate with the citizens of Austin, having been arrested over the weekend down there on 6th Street?
You know, this is something that we've been dealing with for the past 3.5 years. The entire reason the Peaceful Streets Project was started was because police were abusing people and committing crimes against people, and there's no accountability within the system through internal affairs, through the Office of the Police Monitor, through the elected leaders of the city. And so we want to put accountability back into the hands of the community. And for that, for exercising our First Amendment protected rights, they've attacked us and they've come after us by arresting us and abusing us and assaulting us over the past 3.5 years. And so this weekend was just one more example of that. And I think that people should take note that this is in light of the increased scrutiny on police across the nation. This is in light of the fact that we have a civil suit in the works for this exact thing, violations of civil rights, particularly violation of the First Amendment for people trying to film the police. This is in light of an Austin police officer who's going to trial for shooting an unarmed man in the back of the head, in light of an Austin police officer who fled to Indonesia after killing his girlfriend. And for them to do this on camera with so many people watching just highlights how brazen they are and how unconcerned they are about people's rights or liberties, or even what the broader public thinks about them.
Antonio, let me ask you, don't take this wrong. Did you go out Saturday night intending to get arrested?
No, we never go out to get arrested. Getting arrested stinks. Anyone who has not been to jail does not understand that. I have never tried to get arrested. I have never been arrested for a crime that I've committed. Every single time it's been a false arrest. It stinks being in jail, and I don't ever want to go back. We just celebrated earlier this week that I was finally cleared of every single arrest that they've had against me, without a single conviction, by the way. And no, I was out there trying to protect the community from corrupt cops. And when that cop came up to me and started barking orders at me, giving me false orders, making false claims of interference, I had two choices. I could either tuck my tail between my legs and walk away, which quite frankly is what we often do because we don't want to get arrested, or I could stand on principle, flex my rights, demand that the Constitution still means something to some people, and stand up for that First Amendment thing that was the very first amendment in the Bill of Rights.
What corruption,
stand up.
Antonio, what corruption were you witnessing on 6th Street?
At that very second, we weren't witnessing corruption, but we've been witnessing corruption within the Austin Police Department for years, to include the cover-ups of the crimes that we have been victim to or that we have seen.
What was the very first thing an officer said to you Saturday night?
Probably hello.
Followed by what?
Me saying hello.
Mm-hmm. Followed by?
Maybe have a nice day. Listen, we did not have any problems with the majority of the police officers out there.
I'm just trying to ask you, Antonio, what did they say initially when they approached you and asked you to move? How did that go?
Okay.
Yes.
So you're talking about specifically when they arrested us.
Yes.
We were out there for about 3 hours before that with little problem. Sergeant Randy Deere, he's the one who orchestrated this. He's been attacking cop watchers for months, and he has been very aggressive. He's been threatening arrest numerous times. When we went out there, we knew his name. We knew that if there was anyone that was going to assault us or arrest us, it was going to be him. And we observed a voluntary, consensual conversation between a police officer and someone who is trying to get a better understanding as to what they could do at a corner. They were proselytizing. And so he wanted to know what he could do. So we were just filming that, and the police officers there had no problem whatsoever. All of a sudden, the Sergeant Randy Deere comes up and starts yelling at me to back away, back away. So I started moving away from him. Eventually, the other cop said, "Dude, chill. He's okay." And then afterwards, I asked him what the problem was, and he basically said, "You're interfering. You're taking my attention away." So that's what started it. And by the way, just for those who complain about people who break the law, there's no such thing as interference if all you're doing is standing there with the camera. You actually have to interfere. And so that's what started it. And then later in the night, he eventually walks up to me. He starts telling me that I'm standing exactly where he needs to patrol, even though there were probably 2,000 people on the same street.
Why didn't you move back at that point? Antonio said, "This is where I need to be," and he's an officer of the law.
Well, no, he didn't say move back. He said, I'm going to walk right where you are. He said, we're about to start patrolling, and I'm going to walk right where you are. And so what he was saying was, now, all of a sudden, I have a path that I have in mind, and that path takes me right through where you're standing, that 1.5 by 1.5 foot square that you're standing in. And so, therefore, I'm going to give you an illegal order to move so that if you don't immediately move, I will arrest you for interference. And so I moved.
I see you move, and I'm watching the video right now from KBU. I see you're moving. Yeah, I don't know why they arrested you, to be honest with you, unless you were indeed being truly obstinate.
I'll tell you why. They arrested me because they created a training memorandum back in 2013, and this is public record. They created a training memorandum back in 2013 that told them exactly how to arrest people who are cop watching. Obviously, this was intended for me and the members of the Peaceful Streets Project because this came right when that was, boiling over. And what they told their officers to do was, they first said you cannot arrest people simply for filming because filming is a constitutionally protected right. However, if you don't like what they're doing, all you have to do is look at them and give them an order. It can be any order. Stand over there, stand over here, move forward 10 feet, move backward 10 feet. And if they don't do it, and you have to tell them again, then you can arrest them for interference with public duty. The problem is that's illegal. That's not constitutionally sound. Secondly, despite the fact that I even moved when he told me to move, they still arrested me. And the reason is not because we were interference. They arrested us because they're trying to chill our constitutionally protected right. And if you'll notice, they weren't engaged in any activity at that moment. And the only reason he had to patrol right through my little 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot square area was because he needed some sort of justification.
Antonio, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for calling. Keep us up to date. I'm sure this is going to be a developing story throughout the day, but thank you for calling us today.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Antonio Buehler, arrested over the weekend on 6th Street, now facing 2 charges. The number's 512-836-0590. You can also text us at 29217. It's 927 now with Mark and Ed on Austin's Morning.